Let's start.
Well, good evening and welcome to the nighttime heat on this beautiful Thursday. My team and I, we are here tonight once again to bring you another splendid edition of the nighttime heat. And of course, every night the show is, very interesting. And we've gained traction, over the short period of time. So welcome and share the live video. Share the live video so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow what's happening tonight on the program. And tonight promises to be very interesting. We are streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. That's the Nighttime Heat Facebook and YouTube channel. Just tap Nighttime Heat. You either watch the show online, either on your Facebook or either on your YouTube. Just tap the name Nighttime Heat. You're going to follow the show online. Besides, we are also streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. That's the Prime FM online platform. We are also streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. So let me just acquaint you with what is coming up tonight. I know you quite, you're waiting, you are very eager to know what we're going to talk about tonight. And so let me just acquaint you. The Liberia National Police has issued a stern warning against troublemakers ahead of the July 17 protests. Well, we're going to listen to the police IG, the Inspector General. We have this tape. We're going to play that and do our own analysis of what he said on that tape. Also, Stan Mulba Molu speaks to the media ahead of his July 17 protest. We're going to hear from Mulba Molu. We're going to play that video to hear also why are they contemplating gathering again in the streets. Also, we're going to talk about, we're going to figure out as to whether, judging from other protests, can the July 17 protests make any difference in trying to draw the government's attention? We're going to talk about that, because we heard about other protests, July 17 protests. We heard about other. I'm not getting it. And so, sincerely apologize, due to some unavoidable situation or circumstances, but that has been sorted out now. And so, we'll be trying to figure out, judging from other protests, that took place under this regime, under this administration, can the July 17 protest make any difference in drawing the government's attention? We're going to talk about that tonight on the program. Josiah Jokai of the CSA has fallen into trouble with the Senate. The Senate held its session today, and we understand that if written for Jokai to be either dismissed or suspended, but we want to listen to the senators. So what they are backing, what's the background, what's the reasons for which they want Josiah Jokai rather to be booted out or suspended from government. We want to talk about that also on the program. And finally, the disagreement erupts, to understand, over the additional 16 seats. They are individuals, and the latest is Bowie, Lima Bowie. She's spoken critically against that. I want to read to what she said. Her opposition to additional 16 seats. And others have a rating. We're going to talk about that as well. Okay, so that does it. That's the shape of the program tonight. And of course, like I said, it promises to be very interesting. Please make sure that you join the program either by online or either on the radio. Join us. Let's have an interesting discussion on the program. Join us. Yes, Dave, you are on now. Welcome to the program.
No, I'm not on yet.
You are on. I'm hearing you, Dave.
You hear me, man?
Yeah.
I'm not hearing myself.
You are on, Dave.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm on. Okay,
The
I'm on.
guy is very combative. my man.
Good evening. Saba, thank you for welcoming me. And I'd like to say hi. Good evening, good afternoon to Moses, who I already seen. Josh has just entered Kennedy. I'd like to say good evening to attorney-in-law family who has been missing in action for the past few days. I'd like to say hi to my fellow panelists, Mr. Wion and AB, who is taking care of the technical aspect of the show. It's good to be here.
Okay, Dave. Thank you for coming. Let's welcome Mr. Wion, Desmond Wion. Mr. Wion, welcome.
Thank you, Saba. It's great to be here always, and good evening to you, and good evening to our million, listeners, our viewers, those following the show. I mean, it's great to always, join in, and especially to our technician. I mean, the technician just like a kitchen, the cook in the kitchen, making sure that we come on live. And I would like to say, good evening to my co-panelists, Mr. Kennedy. Sandy is online, Mr. David, and it's great to be here. And we look forward to having a very interesting conversation this evening.
Yeah, let me join you also to recognize the producer. Yes, he's doing well. He cooks the food sometimes well, but sometimes he doesn't put Maggie Cube and no pepper.
It's normal. It's normal.
Welcome to the program.
Good evening, Mr. Saba. Thank you for the opportunity afforded me to always share the time with you on the show, and to my co-panelists. I won't go, calling all the names, but I will touch our diaspora panelists. Mr. Sandy, I hope he's on. He's on. Yeah, I can enjoy it, to be very frank. Nobody should go. Mr. Sandy can really make the show fun. Frankly,
At the main position.
yeah,
I will take the
he makes the show fun.
He's knowledgeable.
He's knowledgeable. He makes the show fun. Yeah, it's not everything that he says, so now we agree with, but he makes the show fun. So
Yes, of course.
our technician, thank you, and to our precious.
For you, I don't know what Moses I ever said that you agree with. You always differ. Moses, welcome to the program.
No, actually, Moses is an answer to the show.
Yeah.
Welcome, Moses.
Before they disagree.
Thank you. Thanks, colleagues. I listen to all of you. Thanks for the words of encouragement, the compliments, and similar compliments go to all of you. We come as panelists speaking from different perspectives on the subject matter. We all bring a lot to this show. George, your economic background, Sobo, you being a top manager in the media, my brother David Tagbert, former director of news, and our colleague, Mr. Wion, who is also a partisan journalist. Everybody brings a lot. And our crew in the background, we want to say thank you for all what you do. We come here, not to shame anybody, but to just be honest about what is happening in our country. So it's always a pleasure coming back. And this time today, I decided to come. My schedule being crazy, and it's very crazy. So I had to take some time off today. I said, no, I got to be on camera today. So, at the end of the show, I will send you my bill, for the 2 hours. Thank you.
Okay, all right, Moses. Thank you, Moses.
Yeah.
Plus, you listening to the show. That's the nighttime heat. It will be firing tonight. Very fiery tonight. Don't miss any bit of it. We've got a lot of interesting national developments to talk about. Let's try first, gentlemen, to listen to the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police. If all goes well, tomorrow marks the 17th of July, and we all know that that's the day that the stand of Molba Molu and the rest of the guys, including Fore Massacre, who's currently behind bars. I don't know how you're going to join the protest now. No, they all plan to meet tomorrow. So let's listen to the IG. I try, picking up, some of the things he said. What his statement was basically intended to scare the protesters, or what it was just intended to educate them about their do's and don'ts tomorrow. And so let's listen to the IG quickly.
Fellow Liberians, good evening. I address you today as the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police to reaffirm our unwavering commitment to the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, the rule of law, and the democratic values that define our nation. The Liberia National Police recognizes and respects the right of every citizen to peacefully assemble, peacefully protest, express their views, and petition the government for redress of grievances. These rights, guaranteed under Article 17 of our Constitution, are fundamental to our democracy, and these are rights that the Liberia National Police are duty-bound to protect. As your National Police Service, our responsibility is not to suppress peaceful protests, but to ensure that every Liberian can exercise these constitutional freedoms safely, peacefully, and without any form of intimidation or interferences. As we prepare for the planned demonstration on Friday, July 17, the Liberia National Police has completed an extensive operational planning and intelligence assessment. Our assessment indicates that while an overwhelming majority of these organizers and participants intend to demonstrate peacefully, there are credible indications that a small number of individuals may attempt to exploit the gathering to commit acts of violence, destroy property, attack security personnel, or otherwise undermine the legitimate and constitutional exercise of these rights. I wish to assure the Liberian people that the National Police has taken appropriate preventive measures to protect both the demonstrators and the general public. As part of the ongoing intelligence-led policing operations, our investigators have received credible intelligence regarding manufacturing and planned distribution of Molotov cocktails intended for unlawful use during the demonstration. Acting swiftly, the police investigators intercepted a quantity of these improvised incendiary devices even before they could be distributed. Investigation remains active, and every person connected to the criminal activity will be prosecuted in accordance with the laws of the Republic of Liberia. Additionally, the Liberia National Police has identified Mr. Collie Bobo as a principal suspect in an ongoing investigation concerning the alleged distribution of illegal firearms intended to facilitate criminal activities during the protest. This remains an active criminal investigation. I wish to emphasize that all investigative actions are being conducted within the framework of the law, and every individual connected to this matter will be afforded constitutional protections, including due process and presumption of innocence until proven guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction. I'll be clear with everybody. There's a clear distinction between peaceful protest and criminal conduct. The Constitution, it protects peaceful assembly clearly. It does not protect violence, rioting, arson, vandalism, looting, assault on law enforcement officers, obstruction of emergency services, or possession and manufacture and distribution of illegal firearms, Molotov cocktails, and other explosive or incendiary devices. Anyone who engages in criminal act under the guise of protest will be investigated and held accountable under the laws of the Republic of Liberia. I wish to encourage all protest organizers and participants alike to continue working closely with the police and adhere to the approved protest routes and designated assembly areas, respecting the rights of motorists, businesses, residents, and fellow citizens, and ensuring that every emergency vehicle will retain unrestricted access at all times. I also remind the public that the executive mansion ground, there's no go. Nobody not coming there. Participants are therefore encouraged to remain within the approved routes and designated assembly area while cooperating fully with officers deployed. The order given by the officer, that the order of the day, you have to follow it. On Friday, the National Police will deploy all over the city, strategic location with one objective: to protect life, safeguard property, facilitate the peaceful exercise of constitutional rights, will maintain public order and ensure the safety of every Liberian. Personally, I have directed all officers deployed to conduct themselves with professionalism, impartiality, discipline, restraint, and respect for human rights. The legitimacy of democratic policing depends not only on enforcing law, but on earning and maintaining the confidence of our people. And this we intend to do during this protest. I also call on every citizen to remain vigilant. If you observe anyone carrying illegal weapons, explosive or incendiary devices, or engaging in any activity intended to incite violence or disrupt this peaceful demonstration, please report it immediately to the police. Public vigilance and responsible citizen remains among our strongest safeguards against those who seek to destabilize this country. Equally important, I urge everyone to refrain from spreading rumors, misinformation, disinformation, or inflammatory content on social media or through other channels.
All right, so gentlemen, that's the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police. And a couple of things he said, talking about intelligence that they received that some individuals are planning to cause havoc on the day of the protests. Besides, they also got intelligence that some individuals have already manufactured and distributed incendiary devices, and one Collie Bobo, I don't know where he's coming from, whether from Bon County or Lofa County or Maryland. No, it can be Maryland, not all from the southeast, maybe from Bon County or Lofa County. Bobo has been arrested already. He's in police detention, undergoing investigation. The executive mansion will be no-go zone. He asks that protesters should not, venture to go there. Police will be doing massive deployment across. So it means, gentlemen, tomorrow, again, fear may likely get into our people. Especially wake up in the morning and you see a group of police officers all around deployed with long range and weaponry and all of that. Let's hear from you, Mr. Will.
Well, the police actually started very, very, listen to him. His opening comments were very responsible, where he talked about the issue about constitutional rights of every Liberian to peacefully assemble. But when he went further, began to deduce contradictions when, to some extent, the government in general, because trying to create some level of restrictions on those who want to protest. Look, so Article 17 of our Constitution is clear. It is self-explanatory. It does not, in any part of that whole clause, there is nothing there that talks about restriction or direction or where or when should protesters gather. Nothing in that clause talk about that. Article 17 says it is the right of citizens to peacefully assemble and petition their government. It is the description, or better still, it is the prerogative of the protesters or the organizers of the protest to determine where to go to petition the government. It is not the responsibility of the police to instruct them where to go to petition the government. That is contradiction. That is infringement. It is completely an infringement. If the LMP respects the right guaranteed in Article 17 of our Constitution, then all that requires of LMP is to make sure, provide the police officers, provide the safety for the protesters, and monitor them wherever places they will be gathering. That is why they will inform the police, look, we are gathering at this place to give our petition, and the government, through the Liberia National Police, will designate officers to make sure that the protesters are safe and they can be able to present that petition, on a safe environment. But what I listen from the IG, that is a complete suppression of the right guaranteed under Article 17. IG, in fact, to some extent, he sounded very vindictive. You understand? That absolutely no go zone. Who determines no go zone? Are we on an emergency? Is there a war in the country, or is there any national emergency for which you declare no go zone? Citizens want to petition the government based on some of the things that is not proceeding right. Then there is absolutely no go zone. And remember, Nasaba, the grounds of the Capitol building, they have been over time used for petitions, especially when you have the Capitol building, you have the various legislators, you have the chairman on claims and petition at the House of Representatives. We also have the chairman on claims and petition at the House of Senate. They share a route. That route, which is the road between the executive mansion and the Capitol building, they all share the same Capitol Hill. So if the police is saying that there should be absolutely no go zone on Capitol Hill, you know what I'm saying, or on the route of the executive mansion in her description, the LMB description, then there's a contradiction. That is a complete freedom suppression, and that is absolutely wrong. It is highly condemnable to the highest degree, and I think that should be the least coming from somebody who's supposed to be enforcing laws and order instead of restricting the rights of free movement.
Okay, let me hold you there. Dave, you listen to the police IG. Should I go over some of the things he said? There'll be massive deployment tomorrow. Again, you wake up in the morning, you see police officers around deployed throughout the city with that long range. I know they're not going to be there with batons and empty-handed. They're going to carry something with them to fear individuals. So, is that what you expect? Is that what you want, Dave?
Sabo, I'm absolutely flabbergasted by the views expressed by Mr. Wion. His analysis is always, astonishing. The fact that, something I wonder, his level of reasoning. The fact that, that it is a statutory responsibility of the Liberian National Police to maintain law and order. And if a group of Liberians under the Constitution who are allowed by the Constitution, to peacefully assemble are showing signs of violence, you listen to the police IG telling you that intelligence that they've gathered, from intelligence that they've gathered, there are individuals, a few elements. It's a few elements have already, distributed what I initially heard about was a petrol bond. Maybe that's a security name, incendiaries, devices, and other things. So if the police intelligence have gathered such information, you expect the police to sit down supinely. And then if something happens, you say the police does not know, the police is weak, it's ineffective, it's in the ideas, in fact, it is incompetent.
But Dave, let me ask you. Let me hold you there. Group of individuals who have not yet protested. Yes, they got a plan. Is it possible for them to, manufacture incendiary devices?
Why are you doubting it that it's not possible?
No, I'm just asking a question.
Yeah. Well, so why? I'm also asking you, why you think it is not possible that gentlemen, a group of Liberians who haven't even protested, who planning a protest, why don't you think it's possible?
Why would they want to do that, Dave?
Well, somehow they have their own intentions. They have their own plans. It's not meant to determine. And because the police director is a security person, and the police has the right to maintain law and order. If the police notices that there's signs that there are a group of people who want to capitalize on tomorrow's protest to cause violence in this country, protect to maybe infringe on the rights of other Liberians who have the right to free movement, then you expect the police not to take action, not to take precaution for the sake of all of us, for the sake of maintaining law and order, for the sake of protecting lives and properties. And somebody sits here and says the police is.
But your colleague spoke about it. Your colleague addressed the issue of the no-go zone.
The issue of the no-go zone, for example, the police is the police that determines. You say you want to protest. You're given a permit. You have the constitutional right to.
Have we not? No. Come here,
this guy was talking. He did not interrupt him. Can you please let me know, Len? You stop you start your biases again. Stop this thing. No. But the man was talking. He did not interrupt him.
But Dave, you're making some startling revelation.
Why you call startling revelation? If the police tells you, look, Saba, all the protests we've heard about. Once you given a permit,
have people now protested up the executive mansion ground?
But this time around, even if people protested this time around, the police said it is a no-go zone.
Why?
The police said.
So your colleague is saying it's a violation to the rights of
well, that's his views. That's his views.
Do you agree with that?
That's his views. You expect me to agree with such a view? No, Saba, you don't expect me to agree
when
with
people
such a view.
protested on the grounds of the yesterday, that was appropriate, right? That was
Saba, let me tell you.
No, I'm just asking.
Saba, let me tell you. If people say they are protesting, and the police says, look, no one passes on Broad Street. No one passes on Capitol Bypass. This is the route you people should use to get to the Capitol building where you want to deliver your petition. Or this is the route to use to get to the U.S. Embassy to. Why don't we like to follow the instructions? Why don't we like to be disciplined to follow the instructions? If the police say don't pass here, it doesn't mean that the police infringing the right.
Do you remember that the people, protesters gathered yesterday before the executive mansion? They took their coal packs and pans and were cooking there.
Police,
you remember, right?
And Saba, if they did
I'm
that,
just asking.
Saba,
do you remember?
Saba,
or it's of your memory.
Saba,
no, I'm asking you,
Saba,
Dave.
You don't expect me. What sort of question is that?
I'm asking whether you do remember.
I mean, a senior journalist, well-experienced veteran journalist.
So you remember,
you
right?
Expect me that I wouldn't remember such an incident.
So that happened.
The first thing, Saba,
at the time was constitutional.
Saba,
Dave.
Saba.
Dave, at the time was right to
now it's my turn to talk. You will interrupt me.
No, I'm just asking you, Dave.
Here we are. Your man Zion and William were talking. At no time did you interrupt him. At no time did you interrupt him. But Saba, what I'm saying is that if yesterday, if people demonstrated in front of the executive mansion, this time around, the current authorities say the executive mansion grants a no-go zone. So what do you have problem with that?
Okay,
follow the instructions. If you have good intention for if your protest, if your planned protest is well intended, you wouldn't have problem with whatever the police tells you to do.
Let's hear you, Mr. Kennedy.
Thank you.
You quietly sat and listen.
Because I'm just shocked because if we made the debate like they say, this regime or this government does not allow protests to take place at the executive mansion ground or on Capitol Hill. I mean, the person who's saying that is not living in Liberia. The most recent protest for the Ministry of Transport Workers protests that took place on that ground when they go petition the legislature. A lot of protests been taking place there. And we shouldn't forget about the fact that prior to this protest, the police is telling the public that some incendiary attempts have been caught with these people. Some of them have been charged. And somebody trying to suggest that on the eve of the protest, they cannot happen and you say the police should go in front of the executive mansion. Then you say that right? Hey, man. Look, who Who's supposed to protect people?
Do we
right?
know how many
At
persons?
which point, I really want to something. I'm still on the floor.
You said, I
because-
know you said something, but I just want to come in to ask a small question. You're not going to ask my question. Do we know how many
Well,
persons were arrestable in incendiary devices?
the police spokesman, I was
No,
not
how
there,
many
I don't know.
persons? No, you listen to him.
The man was very clear. He said, "Why it's true that most of the protesters may have good intention, wanting to protest petition at government. Some of them are planning, others they have been arrested.
Few
They
of
said,
them.
Few of them.
Yeah.
And
Tell
one
me now,
Cody Bubba was.
how many people do you need in the group to cause disruption, to cause chaos?
Even one person can cause
So,
disruption.
so someone when we facing these
So
things,
do we
we
know?
should face
Do
it
we
with
know?
rationality. I know,
Where did the
Mr. William,
intelligence-
Mr. William has, I mean, unhindered access to his conversation. He said a lot of distorted things.
Go ahead.
And so gave people a chance.
I'm not giving. I just wanted to ask.
When
a
they
question.
talk about rights, let me tell you this: when they talk about rights, the rights of the people lies in the hands of the state, the government. The government determines. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't lie in the Constitution.
Who enforces the Constitution?
No, but it shouldn't be the state now.
So who enforces the
It shouldn't be the
Constitution?
state.
Who is that?
The state is on an obligation to enforce the Constitution.
So,
but the people's rights.
So let me tell you.
It's not resident in the state. It's in the Constitution.
So tell me now. Let me say this for you today.
Mhm.
The people write the Constitution. They elect their government. They tell the government go and enforce the Constitution. Right? This is just elementary.
It doesn't mean that our rights lie
I know,
within
I
the-
know you will debate my time
Yeah.
too.
No, go ahead.
I just want you to let
No,
me.
sometimes you and Tabo get
Just
something that require a question.
Just how your man was learning with his idea.
Go ahead.
While he was sounding odd or very straight. Let me learn with mine.
Go
You
ahead.
interfere nothing. All right.
Ask him some questions.
No, you
No,
never
no,
asked
no,
me.
you did
Go
not.
ahead.
Never asked him. That's why
Should we play back?
some of the callers.
Yeah, play
Play
back.
back.
Yeah, play back. Play back.
You never asked him
You
one question.
never
And the one
interrupted
callers
me.
can always tell you,
In case I ask him.
I'm muted today from the show.
No, not muted. You pay me $5,000 US.
I can even give you
Some of your
10,000.
MPA money.
I can give you 10,000.
Oh, go ahead,
I won't
go
have
ahead.
problem giving
Go
you
ahead.
10,000.
Go ahead.
But let me really say this: the police is there to protect lives and property.
Surely.
That authority enshrined in the Constitution. If the police meet the protesters, they always discuss which route they use, where they go. If police tells you, police asks you in that conversation, which specific area you want to go, you say that here. Who do you want to petition? Who your petition? They say you will name them. They tell you, say, okay, we want you to use this route. The same way you have right to protest, that the same way the other people who don't have interest in your protest, they have right
To move about.
So it is the state, through the national security, that will tell you where to go and to determine exactly in line with the laws that they're enforcing, to tell you where to go and assemble. If all you are peaceful enough that you say you're very peaceful, you will adhere to that. The fact that you have been granted the right to go and do your protest, you will say, okay, our duty is to go do our protest and to present our statement. We want to present our statement to social people. But for you to say it is a violation, or anyone is a violation of the protesters' right. Even Mr. Sandy is here in the US. Every day somehow there's some protest in one of those states. While at the state security or the federal security don't get up a corridor where they're supposed to move safely to allow other people to move, so that they're right when they're joining the street anywhere. Well, maybe like Eastern or Grand Crew, that one they can have it. But here in Nigeria, in
So what you can say, Lofa?
the thing that can happen is you should listen to the police to tell you where to pass and where to go. And the police, the government is under obligation to allow you to do your protest. But this protest has been compromised
Please,
by
we
this
send
incendiary
your decision.
comments.
We send your decision by attacking the poor of Sano.
Okay, I resent it.
Okay.
We got you from there.
So you can't attack the poor of Sano.
We got you from there. So
I just
resent
resend it. Yeah.
I resent it. Some people
Okay.
are great people.
Let's hear from you, Moses. Your take, Moses. But let me just give you some review of what we heard earlier. You heard the police, RG. He said, they got credible intelligence that some of the would-be protesters, in fact, are planning to cause havoc tomorrow. Additional intelligence allowed them to know about the production and distribution of incendiary devices, and one bubble called Collie Bubble. I don't know what kind of name is that. I don't know how is it.
I know some bubble from Grand Bassa, so that Collie.
No. They are from Lofa County. And also, he said the executive mansion will be no-go zone tomorrow, Moses. And besides, when people wake up in the morning, they'll see a huge deployment of police officers around the city, with a long range and short range and all the stuff, So let's hear you, Moses.
He said it'll be deployed.
But how can it deploy for arm?
No, police can deploy.
A very good discussion.
It's really not possible.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah,
will they carry back?
Don't put words in the man mouth.
No, are they carrying back? Are they carrying back?
He said the police will
Comrade.
Spoil.
But we saw deployment here yesterday.
Yesterday, what time?
Is this the first time they're holding protest?
So all the protests that you see the police, deploy.
Comrade, I beg you, don't protest
the
that.
protest scene.
Don't listen, comrade.
Yeah.
That other one, there's no way
I
you can
think
defend it.
No,
most
It's
of
very
them
alarming. That's not what he said.
there's no way you can defend that. Police.
All right.
You said the
So,
AG said
Let's
what he said.
Moses, I hear you. Moses, I
Okay.
hear you.
first let's try to get some things straight in here. And the analysis from all of you guys, very great. I listened to the director of police. He said they have gotten intelligence that some unscrupulous individuals have planned to undermine the peace and stability of the country. This has to do with national security, and an individual has been arrested. Gentlemen, this is where the Minister of Justice comes in. There should have been a major news conference in Monrovia today by the Minister of Justice. Hey, we have gathered intelligence. We are working with the police. A group of people have decided to undermine the peace and stability of the country. The police has arrested this number of persons. We have this intelligence, and we have already demarcated areas where we want these people to go. Like my brother George said, in the United States here, when protests are being held, the police set up barricades. Not because I want to protest. Mr. George Kennedy wants to go to work, then I'll go and obstruct traffic. They set up zones. You go there because the law provides for that. People have the right to free assembly, but they gave you designated areas so that there will be crowd control. And the same thing should happen in Liberia. But I think this news conference should have been addressed by the Minister of Justice and say, hey, we are working with the police. But again, I don't know what is happening at the Justice Ministry. And Konokoma is coming across as the guy who's running the show. So having said that, let's look at some of the areas that the police say, look, these areas are declared no-go zone. The executive mansion or the grounds of the legislature or whatever. Yes, law enforcement can do that. Like we here in the United States, a group of people will not just wake up the city going to the White House to protest. No, the police will not allow you to do that because that may threaten national security. They will give you designated area. That's why when you're planning your protest, you collaborate with security entities so you can have assigned areas, specific routes, so that others who want to go to work, they will not be denied that opportunity to go to work. So we shouldn't say, oh, well, it's a violation of people's right. No, there's nothing called absolute right. Every human right has what? Limitations. For the fact that you have the right to free speech, it doesn't mean that you enter a theater and start shouting fire, 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 and people jumping and breaking their phone. Then you say, oh, I'm a free speech. No, you'll be prosecuted legally. So I think the police is proceeding well. And I hope that this will not cause unnecessary tension in the country. If these people have good intention, then they use the designated route and go and make their case. We shouldn't be flipping cars over. That would be my, advice.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
Leslie.
I think a lot of us were missing something very, very interesting. It is imperative enough. If we have read Article 17 and probably, we'll have, more deeper in terms of the full comprehension of the interpretation of that clause of our Constitution. Article 17 is clear, plain clear, that citizens have the right to assemble peacefully and petition their government. Under that clause, there is nothing there that talks about citizens shall take instruction, or better still, citizens shall subject her rights to whatever security apparatus in terms of, under the name of law. I can't understand it. Under the protections of law and or lives and property. What this LMP is doing under Greg administration, this is not about protecting lives. This is about restricting protesters from peacefully engaging with the government. Now, come to think about it. These people come to protest and to petition the government. If you taking them from the Capitol building and probably sending them to UN draft, how do you expect them to deliver the petition? Do you expect the person who is the lawmaker or who is also serving as a chairperson on claims and petition to draft from his Capitol building office to go and receive the petition from UN draft, wherever place they may be gathering? Is that a sense we're making? Or do you expect whoever that is responsible to receive the petition of the protesters on behalf of the government to go wait for them to wherever place they will be meeting? I don't think that should be the way. Normally, what has been done customarily, citizens normally utilize the grounds of the Capitol building, present their petitions to the government through the legislature. It is accepted by whoever that is responsible, who is the chair on claims and petition. That has been the tradition of our country. So why now Greg wants to change that? Is it not concerning, Sober?
Okay.
So just to comment on the issue about the incinerations. Now, let me tell you this. If for any reason, and that is why I strongly hold the view that this is a generator strategy to attract public attention, so as to weaken the momentum of the protesters. At the video that we watched, the IG said, while it's true there are a good number of people who have great intention to protest, but there's still a handful of people who want to create violence. He went on by saying, one Kwali Bobo, they have discovered petrol bombs based on credible intelligence. But what the LG failed to have communicated is where exactly did the LMP, arrest the Kwali Bobo, and as to what? No, come in. It's important because if you're about to talk about national security issues to the country, you got to be as clear and specific. All of these specificity need to go along your conversation. You will not just come on and say, "Oh, we arrested one Kwali Bobo and it's being ongoing."
No, when you go home, listen to the video so you can listen to yourself.
1 minute.
Yeah, you have to go home and listen to the video and listen to yourself.
Mr. Tagbe, you have to get a man chance.
We listen to the video. The IG only referenced one colleague Bobo in the entire video. I don't know whether you call another name that I didn't hear. Apparently, you heard it, then you gotta say it. But what I heard clearly, and I believe that is the name that everybody heard, is colleague Bobo. So the IG is reporting to the public on the kind of sensitive national security issue. That all along the process of the planning of the protest, there's intelligence of petrol bombs, being discovered by few handful of people, and you only go about naming one colleague Bobo, and you say, oh yes, Sabo, to veto. That is a generator strategy to attract the public attention and to create that kind of unnecessary concern to say, oh, the protesters are up to something different.
Okay, let me hold you there. Yeah, Moses wanted to come in quickly.
Yeah, this is what I want to say. Desmond, with all due respect to you, I think you are speculating. You do not have the evidence to show that the police is saying this, in order to undermine the protest. You do not have the evidence. What I would say is that the person arrested, the Bobo that is being referred to, when the director of police spoke, that man should have been displayed publicly. They should have had that man on camera. The accused, let people know who this guy is talking about. And the weapons or whatever that he had should have been displayed, but that did not happen. But then coming back to what you were saying, oh, well, this undermine Article 17, the right to free assembly. The right to free assembly doesn't mean that law enforcement will allow you to assemble anywhere that is considered, to assemble anywhere that has the potential of creating chaos in the country. Everywhere you go in the world, they give you specific routes. Like George told you in the United States here, if you want to protest, a group of people want to protest, they gave you designated areas. They assign police officers to the group. That's how it works. Thank you.
Yeah, so just to provide.
No, 1 minute. Mr. Kennedy.
So I heard about Article 17D, Article 17, Article 17. Now, we need to link Article 17 here with Article 34D of the Constitution, because we're just quoting. We say the 17 say peaceful assembly, right? It also came to say that assembly must be what, how do you call it? That assembly must be peaceful. It must be associated. It must be states that all individuals have the right to assemble in orderly manner. When they use the word orderly manner, you understand? That's where the state comes in. The law, the premise of the Constitution are not lawyer. They were not stupid. They know that when 4 or 5 people gather, they may not be having the same thinking, the same way of doing things, the same way, something. So group of people, you will get the good, the bad people, and the ugly people in that place. That's why the IG statement, he was very, very tactical in making that statement. He said there are a lot of good people in this. But to go 34 details was, it gives the legislature the right to create state security entities or agencies that will protect lives and property and ensure orderliness in society. You are going to protest tomorrow. The police is announcing that some people have been arrested with so incendiary arrest on this. You've been meeting with the police. They give you direction where to go. Had you not met the police and you're saying this, some of us will have second thought. But you met the police. Police gave you direction. You say no. You have to go there. That you're right. You peaceful? You are not being peaceful. So another thing I will close on this is, anyone petition the government, wherever the police say they should go, those government officials, like those people who talking about that public account, other people, those lawmakers will go there to receive the petition. If they don't go there now, then somebody got other things to say.
Okay.
No, what I want to say is that.
Yeah, quickly, because we have to play this video.
What I want to say is that Mr. Williams has been dropping the ball, but he dropped it bad way tonight.
Who determines that? You?
I determined that.
By your
I
opinion.
determine that from that's my opinion.
So
What
that's
I-
your opinion. Go
No, I'm
ahead.
not
It's
enforcing
not
it on
fact.
you.
Your opinion is not fact.
Yeah, because for you to have said that the police has no right to restrict anybody planning a protest, I mean, it baffles me. You listen to all the people tell you all across the world. Perhaps the only place you've traveled is Grand Bassa County or Grand Cru. But across the world,
Why
That's the original measure.
why you getting- why you- why you-
all across the world,
please
the
don't
police.
don't get personal with me.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not getting
Let me
personal with
finish.
Mr. William. I'm not getting personal with Mr. William. But Mr. William needs to go home. I'm sure all the time after the show, someone can put the recordings or the videos on the Facebook.
Yeah.
So Mr. William should listen to himself. What he say. You're looking at the thing plain, but you try to, deviate from the facts. The Constitution you mentioned, that article you mentioned, does not have to include whether the police has the right to say don't paso and paso. The police has the responsibility, Mr. William, to ensure that lives and properties are protected, most especially when there are signals of violence. When there are signals of violence, already you've heard that one person is arrested or more persons are arrested with incendiaries. That tells you that there's danger ahead if the police doesn't take the right actions or the appropriate measures to make sure that doesn't happen. And for the sake of all of us, for the peace and stability of our country, and for the security of all of us, for the protection of lives and properties. And you say it's wrong. That's what baffles me, Mr.
Okay,
William.
quickly, Mr.
So
William,
yeah, I mean, I won't sound sarcastic just as David did, but truth be told, the law is clear. The sole responsibility of the police is to protect lives and property. In consonance to Article 17, when citizens are gathering peacefully upon their allied to the LMP, the law requires the police to protect them, not to restrict them where to protest, where to go, and where not to go.
Can you imagine that?
I mean, this is what the law says. Unless you tell me say you are subscribing to an invisible constitution that does not exist, then apparently that would be the son of reasoning, maybe for you. I'm saying what the law says in Article 17, which everyone knows, that when citizens are about to protest, they inform the police, look, Mr. Police Officer Alberto LMP, we are protesting at this so date, at this so place. Under the law, once that communication is sent to the police, the law requires the LMP to provide safety, guiding methodology for these people who are about to protest. It's not the other way around, where upon telling you say, look, okay, see you told that you want to protest at the ground of the government. No, you will not protest there. You will not protest there. You will go protest to Sonowe. You will go protest to Vlagba, to Sleway. Is that not restriction?
Gentlemen,
Is that not suppression of the people's right?
1 minute. I
No,
know.
So what? Let me
1 minute.
ask Desmond a question.
You're entitled to your views.
Desmond,
1 minute. That's 1 minute. Moses.
yeah, Desmond, quick question for you. It is true that people have the right to protest. Are you telling me that you advise people to get on the express highway, and protest when you have vehicles driving 65 miles per hour, even though it's the right to protest? Will you do that?
It's not unique in this case, Mr. Sandy. It is not unique in the case.
No, I am asking you this question so that we can come to the point of reasoning that, look, it will be unsafe for the police to say you can protest on the express highway. Your safety will be in danger. The police will tell you, say, you can't do this, even though it is your constitutional right to assemble. But where you want to assemble at, it is not safe for you. It is not safe for other commuters. So they will show you a designated area. It's the same thing that I'm saying.
Your
That the
analogy
people
is
do it. You can't go to the executive mansion. You just can't go there.
your analogy is far different, Mr. Sandy. With all due respect, your analogy
Well,
is
so
far
thank you.
different case on a discussion. What is on a discussion is that those people want to protest to where they have normally protested and petitioned the government, which has been an old age traditional practice.
Now,
So if for any reason LMP is saying no, you cannot go to where you've been going. You cannot go to where you've been going and you cannot do this at a given time where you normally have done so. Isn't that concerning? Isn't that suppression? It is. It is, sir. The law requires if there are protests, the organizer must inform the police. And once that is done, it is the responsibility of the police to protect them at their designated site of the protest. Not the other way around. The police instructing them, restricting them. So you don't go that side, but go on the other side. Go to Flower, go to Clariton. Excuse me, when the people supposed to petition the government at the Capitol Hill, where all of the government's officials are assembled to receive the petitions. Instead of that, he said, "No, we cannot do this because there's a purported whatever it is, due to." It's concerning. It's concerning.
Yes.
Just
So,
for information sake.
Can
That is going to rule of the police.
1 minute,
You see,
Mr.
I would just say this. I didn't really want
Yeah,
to comment
quickly,
on
so we
it.
can play this.
That's
tape.
not-
No, they say mandatory notification of the Liberia National, the Police Act of Liberia. And we'll speak to this and leave it because probably we'll realize on it. Mandatory notification and permits. They say under Section 3, Article 22.86 of the Liberia National Police Act of 2015, any individual or group planning a march or public a demonstration is required to formally notify the Ministry of Justice in writing. Organizer must obtain a permit specifying routes. So the Police Act of 2015, Article 22.86.
Is it above the Constitution?
Yes.
Of Article 7.
Yeah,
Article
you know why?
7.
You know why? Because
The Police Act is above the Constitution.
34D, listen, Article 34D, get the legislature the
Mr.
authority.
Kennedy,
Hey, man, I can't
is that what you're
understand.
saying? That the
Article
Police Act
30
is
listen
above
now.
the Constitution?
1 minute. Just,
Yeah,
Go ahead.
man.
No, I just want you to be
1
clear.
minute,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
William.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Kennedy.
I
Now
know
I've
from
understood
whence you
from
speak.
now I've understood from you that the
I
Police
know
Act
from whence you
is
speak.
above the
But
Constitution.
you know why they kind of taking balance here on the show while we're here? Tomorrow, maybe I'm going all the time. Maybe I may not be here. You can say that. You can do this thing I'm asking tomorrow. Let me announce here. So, because for me, I like to hold you. Article 34D gave the legislature the power to create security agencies. So, any law the legislature made related to today's security agency is reference to Article 34D. You talk about their function, what I want to do. As you can't tell you that on the show.
Okay.
Then, you think that's
All
true
right,
here?
so gentlemen,
I'm coming to you, yeah?
let's move forward. Let's move forward.
Man, yeah, man.
Let's move forward. I
You're
think.
not teaching me either, Mr. Kennedy.
I think.
You're speaking your
1
opinion.
minute. 1 minute,
Like,
Mr. William.
I'm putting you in the
Mr. William,
door.
1 minute. 1 minute. I think and I want to believe, not I think, but I want to believe, there has been some meetings that have taken place between the police and the protesters. Because I can remember I saw on social media an invite, I think, placed on social media by some members of the protesters that were going to see, the police or the Ministry of Justice at the Ministry of Justice. And I think in that meeting, they were able to kindly take this call and hear what the person had to say. I think in that meeting, they already decided as to how they're going to do the whole arrangement of the protest. Where they're going to go, where they will not go, I'm sure their do's and don'ts were spelled out to them. So I want to believe the protesters are already aware as to the route and the assembly point. I'm sure they are aware of that as well. So let's move forward and see what happens tomorrow. Now, Molba Molu is the head of stand. He addressed the media today. Let's hear what he had to say. And what is it that the protesters really want? What is their advocacy? What are they trying to request for from our national government? What are they trying to address or draw the government's attention to? Let's hear Molba Molu quickly, and I'm sure that may likely answer our questions.
In their thousands to make demands for comprehensive reform, to make demands for individuals that may be a part of the drug cartel who bear responsibility one way or the other for the $19 million drug scandal that was smuggled into our country will be held responsible. And we want to assure Liberians that contrary to the dangerous propaganda, the disinformation and misinformation campaign that has been waged by the embattled Police Inspector General Gregory Como and the Information Minister Jeremy Pia. Tomorrow's mass-based event will be very peaceful. We are very much assured of the commitment of our peaceful protesters to discipline and the obedience to the rule of law. We've never ever, under any circumstance, in our more than 20 years of leading and organizing peaceful protest actions, ever been a part of violence. We've always been on the side of the law. We've always been adherent to the rule of law. We've always respected the rights of every Liberian citizen to the use of public highways, major highways, principal streets. We are known historically to have been respecters of the rule of law. And we are not surprised at the dangerous disinformation campaign that has been launched by Jeremy Pia and the embattled police director Gregory Como, because this is his practice. Every time there is a planned protest, he comes out to make these baseless assertions that are not backed by facts. He will insinuate that people are armed with guns and that there has been a distribution of illegal firearms. So it's not the first time we are hearing these deliberate lies, misinformation and disinformation from the police director and his colleague in fermenting lies, Jeremy Pia. In 2025 July, just before the July 17th peaceful protest of last year, the same Gregory Como was again on radio spewing lies, verbiage, misinformation, disinformation, orchestrating a public discussion that was never backed by facts, where he said, in fact, there were protesters that were arming themselves with illegal weapons and that they had an agenda to intrude at different protest locations to use firearms to commit mayhem, commit crime of different degrees. That was Gregory Como of 2005, July 16, either July 16 or July 15. And of course, all of you were witnesses. You provided coverage to that peaceful protest. It was very massive, very successful, and was very peaceful. There was not a single incident of lawlessness. There was not a single person that was caught protesting amongst the convergence of crowds that was caught with the kitchen knife, talk less of firearm have been suggested by Gregory Como during that period. So the same misinformation campaign continued this year. So we were not surprised when Gregory Como again doing a midnight podcast. And you know, the Bible says the devil comes for no other reason other than to steal, to kill, and destroy. Gregory Como, in my view, is one of the devils that Joseph Boakai talked about when he said in 2023 that he was prepared to dance with the devils. You're prepared.
Let's end it there. We can go further. That was the head of stand, Mulba Molu. He started a few things for which they are getting to the streets tomorrow. They are drawing government's attention to accountability. They want accountability. the issue of the drugs war that's ongoing, the drugs investigation. He talked about how they're going to be very peaceful, and also dismissed, the claims made by the police IG that some of his people have been caught with incendiaries. Let's hear you. First, I want to know. You think the way he sounds, Mobile Molu that we know, uh, very forceful in his voice. The way he sounds, you think he has already been weakened in his momentum, or it's his anxiety for the process tomorrow.
No, I mean, not. I mean, basically, not that he's weekend. In my honest opinion, I think he's kind of disinterested in the whatever report from LMP, pointing to members of the planned protests, engaging into some sort of violence. You listen to him. He said that is not the first of a kind for the IG, though. That is a mechanism. That is a strategy. Normally, and he referenced 2025, about July 15 or 16. On the very same IG spoke to the press, and then he said if protesters were arming themselves with illegal firearms, and that protest, there was no one report, or better said, there was not any report, to point to anybody being caught with a firearm. Despite the IG, initially reporting that there were protesters trying to, arm themselves with illegal firearms to engage into sort of violence, on the goose of protest. But on the contrary, not anybody of that protesters, were neither caught nor seen with firearms. So, I mean, what's the name? Mobile Molu is not wicked. He's just disinterested into similar strategy of LMP, surfacing this time around into different version. It's sort of fire that 2025 was a firearm. Now he says it's a incendiary, that has to do with petrol bombs and all that stuff and things. So I think he's been into the business for over 20 years. He's been organizing protests for over 20 years. So he knows exactly some of the strategies about state security, especially when they want to go after the organizer of the protest, they want to kill the momentum of the protest. These are some of the theories, these are some of the strategies being deployed. So I mean, as per what you asked to say as to whether he's wicked, no, he's not wicked.
All right,
He's just disinterested into what is happening.
Okay.
As per
Dave,
the report
let's
for
hear
LMP.
you. You listen to Mobile Molu.
Yeah, I did listen to Mobile Molu. Now also listen to the Inspector General, Liberia National Police, suggesting that the majority of those who would be part of the protest tomorrow, they have good intentions to peacefully gather and protest. But a minimal group of people, or few elements, who may want to disrupt the protests, who may like to disrupt the protests from intelligence reports that they're receiving. So if Mobile Molu says that for over 20 years you've been having protests and all of them been peaceful, the fact that you're hearing that there are elements who have the intention to disrupt your peaceful protest you're planning, I mean, that should also be claimed his attention as the organizer, the lead organizer of the protest. And it shouldn't have a problem with the director of police. You should be working with the director of police. So, I mean, such revelations, such startling revelation made by the police director that, look, there's some elements who are intending to disrupt or infiltrate the protests and deviate from the purpose of the objective of the protest. So, Mr. Director or IG, there's a need to work together. The fact that there's some elements who want to maybe you disrupt my protest, and the fact that you have the information, you've arrested one person in possession of a firearm, or how to call it, petrol bomb, any scenery, there's a need. So he should be getting closer to the police director now. If it is good intentioned, that he should get closer to the police director after having made this revelation that one person has been arrested. There are indicators that there are people who have manufactured petrol bombs or other bad weapons or whatever they want to disrupt. So he should be working with the librarian.
All right, that's what
instead of being personal with the inspector general calling him in battle. If somebody's in battle, I don't know why he's understanding in battle.
Okay, let's hold you there, Dave, and take up Mr. David Cody. I think Cody wants to weigh in on this before we can go to George Kennedy. Mr. Cody, let's hear from you.
Thank you very much, and good evening to all of the panelists. Thank you for putting me on. You've been keeping me in the background. I want to get on there.
So you are on now.
I can't get through.
All of you can accuse me. All of you can accuse me.
Yes. Maybe the reason why you don't want to get me on is that you know that I'm here to pick bone with you.
I apologize for keeping you at the back for long. I apologize.
Yeah. You saw my text that I sent you. Since I'm not going to get this guy on.
No, I apologize. I apologize.
That is coming in now.
So, are you part of the protesters tomorrow?
Even my dead body can never join that group. No, never.
Why?
They are not sincere. We know the history of mobile molo in this country, and we know what protest has done in this country. During the last one held by the mobile molo group, we know what happened here. People's vehicles and properties were destroyed. Up to now, no here, no there. Nobody has paid for anything. Let me first of all pick up with you. So this new nighttime heat is a very big show, very big one. That you sometimes say bigger than other shows that keep people on to 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I agree with you. But you got to stop being biased here. You cannot allow, I think his name is William, to just keep flowing and flowing. And when other people come on, you keep interrupting them. That's not fair. It is not good for the show. This is our show, and it is a great show. One of the best shows with good panelists. But the lead moderator or the moderator cannot be siding with some of the panelists and then not with some. Let the show be back. Yeah, that's what you are.
You got any evidence?
Yes, you can replay the clip for tonight. The one you've been doing for William. I don't know his name. He will flow for hours. You don't say anything. You don't.
All right, so I give you the opportunity to flow.
Flow too as well.
Okay, I will flow. I'll flow for a few minutes. I won't be too long. I'll flow for a few minutes. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I want to thank the police for their decision, and they're going to go strictly by that. Nobody is going to stop me from going to ELBC tomorrow for my program. Oh no, Baba with Divakola. Like Moses said, I'm surprised today to hear Moses talking the way he talked. I mean, thank you. He gave some good examples of the United States. Nobody goes in. They even got places where these people go. In some places, they call it a square. In Ghana and other places. You don't just go to protest because you want to protest, but just go anywhere in the streets. And the police director knows why he said nobody going to the mansion. There was a time the same group, I think it was the Costa Grove. I mean, some people went to protest at the mansion. They said they wanted the
and I saw it around there, Dave. I have my camera.
Yeah, I can never join a protest. Look, I'm a regime collaborator. I work with governments.
No.
In a positive way.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not a dissident collaborator.
So were you not amongst the protesters at the mansion?
Never.
Because so I saw you staring the soup that was on the fire.
Not even my brother was there. No.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'll be brief. So if the police says that nobody is going to go to the mansion, he's right. Those guys said they wanted the president himself to come to receive the protest, and there was a reason for that. Somebody was caught in the midst of the people with setting arms with a gun. Oh yes, if you can remember that. Somebody was caught there with a gun. They wanted the president to come down because they have an aim, and this would not work. I just called tonight to just advise you not to be biased here. Be straightforward. This program is a good show. If you let one person flow for 10 hours, let another flow for 10 hours. Don't keep interrupting Mr. Kennedy and Mr. My good journalist at a friend.
David Tagwell.
Mr. David Tagwell, yeah, my namesake. So please let it flow so that we can enjoy the show.
I like to flow, right?
Yeah, you have done it for me. Thank you. And that's how it should go on.
Okay, thank you.
And let me just say one thing to you. We'll give you a job. Don't worry about that.
Which job do I want?
We'll send you back to ELBC.
No. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable, Dave.
You are angry with us.
No, I'm not angry with you people. Dave, if I were angry with this administration, you'd have known it. You'd have known it. That is every day I sit here, I would have spewed all the condemnations against the negatives. No, but I don't have time for that, Dave. I'm a very professional guy, Dave.
I agree with you on that. I just saying this.
Dave, I went to the state broadcaster. I think you know. I went to the state broadcaster under former President Weah. At the time, it was a difficult thing for opposition to go there. But I risked my job and took the current president there. Hey, you know that?
It was just a little joke.
Yeah. I risked my job and took the current president there. I interviewed for 2 hours.
I agree.
I interviewed Omen Bwaka for 2 hours.
You have been very objective on the show that I agree with that. The only place I got a problem is where you let one man flow, especially that one man sitting there.
All right, Dave. But I have not opened the line, and then of course I come. Okay, let me get to the caller, and then I go to Mr. Kennedy. I have not opened the line yet. Yeah, let's hear you.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the name is Sego Ganon. I go from the JNB and GE Dream for the Liberia Foundation along the UP Intellectual People Headquarters in the community. So, I'm one of those who've been behind the CDC for years upon years. What they call protest today is something that they always let us use to come to power. They don't have message for the people. Moriba Molu, he's in disguise. He's fighting for Akara Gray, Koji, then who have been rejected in the CDC by Joy Weah to have a face to come back. They are the one that's sponsoring his protest. So no more lies will convince the Liberian people. No more lies will convince the Liberian people to get power to the group called CDC. So the group they call Stay Ateneja Behind or Moriba Molu, all time core artist behavior that he did in Ghana.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we can allow someone to make a description of another person on the show. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. You can differ with the policy, you can discuss it, you can condemn the policies, you can condemn the actions, but hey, don't make any description of anybody. Now let's hear you.
Thank you.
You listen to Moriba Molu.
I think most part of Mr. Molu's speech was good, but he missed the mark when he keep designating the police RG and the information minister, and so that he strongly disassociated himself with the individual police said they arrested. He tried to, but he didn't do it strongly. He had the opportunity today to have really, in fact, demanded the police that want to see that person because they're organizing the protest. So if someone says, one person allegedly from your group was arrested this night, you would demand to see that person. As to whether you know that person, even though you may not know everybody that protesting with you, but such person would not just be ordinary person. So I thought that he spoke peace. I enjoyed that. That was very good. But he didn't strongly disassociate himself with that particular individual that was arrested, and he focused more on designating police RG as this, the information minister as that. I thought he shouldn't have wasted his time on that, but strongly disassociate his group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear you, Mr. Sandy.
Yes, look, I agree with my colleagues. And George, you are absolutely right. There was a perfect opportunity for Mr. Molu to make the case, to draw that distinction between his group and the individual that the police claim to have arrested. So look, we heard his name, the police is saying this, but we beg to differ. We don't even know if the information is not correct. Speak to the information. Stop the name calling. And that's the biggest problem we have with most of our people when they go to address issue. Somebody will start saying that, oh, Moses Seni live in Philadelphia. Forget about Moses Seni live in Philadelphia. Is Moses Seni making sense? If he's not making sense, look, this guy is not making sense. What he's saying doesn't represent the truth. What Konakoma said doesn't represent the truth, and then you provided needed clarification. So, George, you're absolutely right. I think Mr. Molu did not do well today on that. I agree.
All right, so gentlemen, yes,
Yeah, so I don't know how they really wanted Moba Molu to speak, because Moba was so clear. He was clear when he said this is an OH strategy normally deployed by LMP. How do you want him to distance himself for whoever that is being, kept on the police custody for whatever related, incendiary activities? The organizer, the lead organizer of the protest, Moba Molu, was clear. He was definite. He said there has been no point in time. In fact, he will reference his history. Over the last 20 years, he's been staging protests. There has been no point in time protest that has been organized under his supervision linked to any sort of violence. And then you still want for Moba Molu to say, oh,
but that's not what we are saying yet. Stop the name calling.
I understood your context.
Yeah, we are saying stop the name calling and provide the needed clarification. That's all you should have done. Nobody wants to know who PI is.
This to himself or whatever ongoing investigation. Who determined being strong? You or you wanted to wait?
And they asked me to react to it.
So you wanted to.
So someone asked me to react to his.
So in your opinion, he was not strong.
He was not strong. He read
his I'm saying to you, and of which many of our viewers and our followers share similar view that Molu was very clear. He was definite. He distanced his entire planned protest from whoever that has been under police custody, for which he even referenced over the last 20 years of protest organization. There has been no reports of any sort of violence.
Okay.
That has been a practical strategy of LMP, normally designated to distract, and to attract public sympathy so that the momentum of the protest can lose its taste and its grips.
Okay, you're listening to the Nighttime Heat directed on Prime FM 105.5. We are streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Just tap on Nighttime Heat. You're going to watch the show either on Facebook or either on YouTube. Also, we are streaming live on Prime FM Morovia 105.5. Now, gentlemen, before we transition from this whole issue of protest, I think this is the second or third protest so far since this administration came to the fore. We've seen protests, and at the end of the day, what happens? Out of chaos, we see the destruction of people's properties. We see the arrests of individuals. We see injuries like the last protest. All of those things are what we see. Gentlemen, do we think that as a country, as a people, we should always conduct these sort of activities? Yes, it's guaranteed. It's constitutionally, guaranteed. But it also has that negative impression of our country to the international world. We protest, and at the end of the day, violent, prone individuals, they go all about and fighting police, and police running after them. At the end of the day, they grab them. Sometimes some of them get injured. We saw what happened during the last protest, to the extent that the police had to even release a batch of individuals who were arrested and should have been arraigned before court. But the police had to release them because of, again, the manner in which they were picked up and manhandled. Do we need to always pin these sort of pictures to the international community about our country? Does it help in in trying to attract foreign aids. These sort of protests that we always hold. Is it not necessary? Is it not possible for us to sit down as a people, as a country, to find amicable solution to challenges facing our country, than to always put a group of individuals in the streets? At the end of the day, people get injured, vehicles, damaged, properties are damaged, and is that what we want for our country? Do protests help our country? Let me begin with you, Mr. William.
Well, given the fact that probably on two different presidents or two different administrations, with their own way of, responding to some of the concerns of the citizens, we had a president just a few years ago where, literally he was almost like engaging with the press, he was on, you could basically, almost like interact with the former president. Unlike now that we have, this president, who quote unquote, accordingly, doesn't listen to radio, doesn't also follow Facebook, it doesn't follow the basic social media, and it can suggest that there is not basically the practical way of which he could be informed about some of the concerns of the citizens. So protesting on his administration, not just his administration, but protesting is good. It's constitutional. But like you talked about, in terms of the picture, it portrayal for our country in the midst of protesting peacefully, and then sort of violence, it's all being, rising. And this is important. It also helps to strengthen our democracy. It also helps to give a very good average to our state security actors, because someone in the midst of protests, even to the extent where protesters are trying to engage into some sort of violence, and then they equally respond for the state securities, to see how better to arrest the situation, can sometimes, give them some recognition, for the right reason. If you follow some of the reports on LMP and all of state security actors, in terms of, citizen policing, in terms of the response, in terms of, their back. I can remember there was a time ago where there was a very damning report on police brutality, all these things are not good for our country. And these are things that can be resulted into what we call the art of police reaction to protesters in the time of protest. You understand? So yes, it's good to protest. That is fair enough. And it is also good when protest is ongoing, and if there's a sound or threat of violence, and then the police, restrain in terms of how to go about curtailing these kind of, instances of violence, is also necessary for our democracy.
Okay.
But just to conclude, under this leadership, there will be more protests. You know why? And I believe there will be more protests because the citizens are already living with the view that the president does not literally listen to their concerns on radio, which probably could be necessary, and he does not also follow on Facebook. Could I said it? The president does not persecute that the president does not listen to radio. So
but there are people handling the president's affairs, so we can take the message to the president. The president
that is a selection of the communication. That's a selection of which type of message to take to the president.
Okay.
But if the president himself,
let me hold
listening to radio, there will be no filtering.
Let me hold it. Now, Mr. Tabwe.
Unlike people who will listen
1 minute,
to
1
this
minute.
and then carry
Mr.
the president,
Tabwe. 1 minute now, Mr. William.
Yeah,
Mr. Tabwe. You
you
listen
know.
to come in, Mr. Tabwe. I'm looking at the picture that we often paint about our country. Because the thing is,
I said because they are meant to record it now. So you know, I gave him a small second.
no, I mean we're working in time, and
Okay, go ahead.
so I want us to be time conscious. Now, Dave, I'm concerned about the picture that we paint often. We saw the last protest, Dave. I think a little group of people were making their way to town. Young men jumped from somewhere and smashed their vehicles. And at the end, some of them got injured. We saw that. We saw how others who, police said they were violent, they were arrested or picked up, including the Ford massacre to the who's in detention. And all of these things, at the end of the day, when the police respond, the way the police also respond, the next thing, the international reporting capture it. Police brutality. And all of that, stall our aid, our effort to get aid from the international community. Do protests help our country? Is there any other way that we can sit down as a people, as a country, to discuss what kind of challenges affecting our country that will always have to go into the streets, take a group of people, and at the end of the day, some of them get injured, and police arrest people? Is that what we want? Is it good for our country? Let me hear you that way.
You know, these things happen because organizers of all these protests are making reference to them not being genuine with their intentions. You know, when you're planning a protest and you allow yourself to be politically motivated or inspired, you know, that what happens. And it's a matter of discipline. I don't know whether this is the appropriate knowledge. And I remember, Sabah, there was a journalist reporting for the VOA. At that time, I was still with Veritas, really Veritas director of news. We all went to the Anthony Tottenham Stadium to witness a program. I wouldn't remember the nature of that program. And that particular journalist, though the police people who were there said, look, gentlemen, don't, this is the way you use, don't use this spot. I don't want to call his name. But he insisted because he said you're working with the VOA.
Okay, I saw the video.
You remember you followed that story. Right? Yeah. He insisted that he wanted to use that particular route that was prohibited. He wanted to use it. And in the process, what happened to him? He was manhandled. He was manhandled. And many of us that followed the instructions of the police, we came home to our families unharmed. So you see, it's a matter of discipline. Just quite recently, the flood that occurred in Accra, Ghana, when the president spoke on it, the president said, it is not an engineering problem. It's a problem of indiscipline. So similarly, people who are organizing these protests, if they have good intentions, if they're disciplined, they will abide by every direction, every warning, every instructions given them by people who are responsible to handle the security of the state, the people who are responsible to protect lives and properties. Because if you have good intention, the police say, okay, yeah, you are allowed to protest. You start with the police. The police say, look, gentlemen, use the route, use the capital bypass route, or use the, how they call it, Busse Quarter route for so and so reasons. I mean, there are others who want to go about their normal business. They seem right to enjoy. These people also enjoy the same right. So not to disrupt other people's movement, use this route. But because your intentions are not genuine, you put up a fight. You're challenging the police that, look, the fact that you want to use Broad Street, the fact that you want to use the lane passing in front of the executive mansion, and the police say you're shooting, you put up a fight. You exhibit arrogance, indiscipline. Then at the end of the day, there's trouble. You are harmed or you are injured. You are arrested. And then at the end of the day, what happens is, you paint the wrong picture of the country. The police is dragged into criticism. The police is criticized. The police are brutalized. They are peaceful citizens. And in most cases, when peaceful citizens, look for their own problem, at the end of the day, it's the police that is self-responsible. It's the police that receive all the lashes and condemnations. And if a journalist challenges the law or constituted authority, and that journalist is injured or flogged or mishandled, at the end of the day, it's the police or the constituted authority that receives all the lashes, but not the journalist.
Okay.
Who arrogantly challenged, the constituted authority.
Now,
that's the point.
We're trying to look at what is necessary. These sort of things that often do we understand this democracy? We see in other countries people do protest, but they are very civil. At the end of the day, the protest will pass and there will be no incident of violence. There will be no one being injured and nothing of that. But we are not seeing any protest of that nature that happened here. And other people were not arrested or people were not injured. And at the end of the day, police was not given a bad name. I'm concerned because at the end of the day, what happens? It stores look, I tell people, yes, I know that all the government officials cannot do the same work, but there are two officials in this government going out, making the case every time, trying to get international support for the country, trying to get support for the aid and trying to get aid for our development programs. And I know them. But these people at the end of the day, sometimes they go there when the international community really sort of a report where people do accuse our police because the police wouldn't sit there and a group of individuals throwing stones at the police. At the end of the day, the police will have to respond. And in the response, police arrest and then pick up them and all these things that go international. Is that the Liberia that we still want? Should we be conducting protests? How has protests helped this country? That's the question I want to ask you.
So there are a lot of factors. First of all, I want to be on record to say that most of these protests that we talk about have either been led by political parties or remnants of political parties. So they've always had political intonation. So they always come, the protesters are always, most of them are always made. Good number of them may not know the objective of the politicians in that midst. They're coming with good faith.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some elements that have already been trained to say, look, we need to do distraction to achieve this. In that way, our party or our political party may be able to get into power. Look at Henry Costa protest. That time, Henry Costa was member of the ARP, but member of the opposition party that was seeking actually to remove Mr. Weah from office. It was not a pro-democracy group that led by a person that was not holding a big person in a political party. See today's thing, the former CDC chair is political undertone. Nobody need to tell anybody that. Bulk of the guys are going there with be seditious. All right. So at the end of the day, it is clear that you want to create some conditions that will make the government unpopular. This has been a history in Liberia. It's perennial. I mean, we started following some of these things. Look at the history. We started following some of these things long. But to your question, is it necessary? We haven't grown as a country democratically to actually protest. Our law gave us the right because those who wrote this law were victims of police brutality also during their protest days. Mm-hmm. Dr. Sawyer and others, 1979, Res Riot, all the Power Movement, the Moja Movement. So they wrote this law, put some clauses that were denied in the First Republic's constitution. And, so they had to put it there to give rights to people. But have we grown enough in spite of the fact that we have more educated people today than before in terms of numbers? I'm talking about quality. I'm really looking at the numbers. The truth is we haven't grown to that level.
Sure.
Should they stop? Well, I can't say they should stop because it's part of our democratic process. Our law allow it. Should they change their behavior or should we change our behavior though we protest? I say yes, we should change our behavior though we protest because protest is good. It's not bad. If you are doing it peacefully. Some of the things Mr. Molu said in his counts, there are things that myself want to know some of the solutions too, but are they going to really behave themselves to present their statements? It's another issue. All right. So, once those things happen, it goes wrong. The country got negative reflection outside there, so it turned to be bad for us. But everything has mission. Make you unpopular, so my party can come and defeat you. This is how we've been going here as a country.
Which is bad. Okay.
So, but I wanted to clarify certain things.
Yes,
respond to certain
so
things
can go to
that
Moses.
Mr. Williams said when he said that the past government, the president always speaking to people. No, President Weah called a speech from the Liberian people when he was president. He sang most songs in Liberia in his studio, in his private studio. Then he talked to the Liberian people. The Liberian people are witnesses. they can attest to this. This president has spoken more to the Liberian poor than president. We are whole 6 years. Go back and look at the tapes. I can tell you that for sure. All right? He called a speech from the people of Liberia for years. Thank you.
Okay. Moses, let's hear you quickly concerning what we're talking about. Whether protests have helped our country, whether we've been doing it the right way, or whether we're still harming our country.
Well, look, let me come from a clinical perspective on this. Protests are human behaviors with specific intent. People want to accomplish something. They either want to grab the attention of people or they want their needs met. And what I'm sure we all here will agree on is that our political leaders in Liberia, instead of being proactive, they are reactive. And what am I saying here? Take, for example, if you have employees at a particular ministry complaining that, hey, look, we have worked for months and we're not taking pay. We're not taking pay. They have had all the meetings. Nobody listens to them. There's a lot of get in the street. The people get in the street, after protesting, their needs are met. They come and make that lump sum payment to them for 10 months. The message you're sending to people is that whenever you want your needs met, get in the street. Human behaviors are learned. When you do these things, that's the message you're sending to a larger community. What we're talking about here, people protesting in hospitals, protesting in schools, protesting in the community for every little thing. Protest has become a norm in Liberia. Every time you watch videos, people are protesting, even in churches. People are protesting because no one is willing to sit and listen, address the needs of the people. The only time they address the needs of these people when they get in the street. So we have to change for the better. The message is saying, yes, Saba, is that when people see us in the street on a consistent basis, we come across as a country of angry people. These people are angry people. They don't get along. Even at a family level, if your children will have to literally get into altercation with the parents before their needs are met, all your neighbors will look at you as a dysfunctional family. So I think we need to go back and tweak. The laws of the country will have to be the laws of the country. We need to hold people accountable. If there are needs, when people reach out, you address those needs. Do not allow them to get in the street before you go and address their needs. Other than that, the message you're sending to the people is what? Violence, violence, violence is what elevates you. That's my point.
Yes, please.
Quickly, so just a public clarity. I mean, like almost similar to Mr. Sonny trying to subscribe with me in a very different function when I said, I mean, under this administration, there will be more protests. I think as much that the president does not listen to the radio, he does not follow on Facebook. Kula Fofana, they determine what to take to the president, what he should know and what he should hear. But if the president was having that direct access to the concerns of the people, maybe somebody think about protest, probably some drastic action would have been taken on the part of the government instead of the people taking to the street to protest. And to Mr. Kennedy said, former president, we was abandon the people. If I call us speak from the people in his word, which is very far from the truth. This is the former president who all the time. I mean, I'm not an official spokesperson, but the facts are there. It's important we state it for the record. This is the former president who, over the time, he's just seen, be seen in, on football field, interacting with the public, interacting with the press, to some extent, even being, there were shows being organized for him when you talk to the press. Unlike this current president who, for once, since in 3 years, spoke to the country on the issue through a televised, pre-recorded audio, and for what we know of, which is very usual. for every time the president speaks, he will throw jabs. Generally asking, I leave it with you. You go to the other place, but the issue, you're gonna make it new land. You go to the other place, this happening, but I say I'm more him be living there, be new to that. All the kind of stuff.
All right, let me hold it there.
So you know,
Gentlemen, we got another topic to cover.
I know you would like to protect your friend, but this is just the truth. Somebody used to be on ERBC. I don't know how many times the president appeared on ERBC. He never, you were very radio sharp. That's why I say he crossed. The men going to go practice on the football field. All the Liberian people going there. The men never spoke to the Liberian people here. Don't go. Where press to go do
so
what?
If you speak to the press,
where?
If the press,
the man was. Look, I don't want to say some things, please. So, but
so okay, you want to talk about? Let's talk the issue. That's based on the facts. This is 3 years. Has the
we
president
are,
ever on any?
So don't forget the audience.
Yes, they're right. Not even following. The president appeared on ERBC.
We got
Live. You don't know that?
I mean,
no.
3 years. He get one time. What the president?
I said appear on ERBC.
No, say you have 3 years. Is that sufficient? Is that
what
what
the president has
so
appeared.
gentlemen, let's move forward. Let's move forward.
And the reason was very simple. We don't want to go out.
Let's move forward. Let's move forward.
Don't be saying not gonna do
gentlemen, today the Liberian Senate met its regular session Thursday and discussed a committee report, a report in some misconduct or something of that nature involving the CSA bus. But let's listen to some of the senators quickly, briefly, and then we can go around the table quickly.
Senator Nimle, followed by Senator Topo. Thank you, Brother. Rescue, I see you rushing, you want to win. You want to win, so you're breaking the law. If you are a rescue, and you don't know the difference between the violation of the conduct, code of conduct, and you want to support a gentleman that you put in power that control more than 20,000 civil servants in this country. That's a very big vote. 70,000. 70,000 civil servants he controls, and he went in the street. And your eyes are not clear enough to see him, and you say, go take off that t-shirt. You're not supposed to wear it now. And you come here, oh, the man is not violate. The man, you will miss the preacher, you will fall down in the water. You will not win. We are running a government, not a political party. A government we're running. We're sitting here, just stop politicizing what is wrong. Prior to this party winning, 2020, while you were running campaign, there were young people in the streets that were wearing t-shirts. 95% of our citizens in the country are not card-carrying members of political parties. When you see them in the street, they wear 4 t-shirts of 4 different political parties. All of you that are here, you know the deal. When they see you, you put so many people out, they throw out one t-shirt and join among the other people. And so, Rescue was able to identify people who were wearing CDC t-shirts. They won and keep the power, and people that were already confirmed by us. 1 year of I saw you wearing CDC t-shirt 2020, you fire. I saw you wearing CDC t-shirt 2020, you fire. So today, your man who controls 70,000 people and is in government, he is wearing a party t-shirt and campaigning 3 years in advance. Is that not a violation by itself? Who declared campaign here in this country? And I'm not talking to you. 3 years in advance, you are campaigning. 3 years in advance, you are campaigning to put rescue government back into power. And you're stepping over people now. So that is not a problem. That is a serious problem. Committee, you have done a very good job. My problem with you today, you gave too many options. This man did not give anybody option when he was firing people 2 years ago. No option was given. Many men said, you are being confirmed by the Senate, but we saw you wearing t-shirt. CDC t-shirt, you fired. So today, you gave the people here, you gave him 5 different options, 7 different options. That the president, oh man, President Nyagoro say, I'll find you 2 days, don't come to work. They never come to work tomorrow. I think we should have narrowed down our recommendation. You are not fire him the way he used to fire people, so that he will understand that the law does not only support an individual. Thank you very much.
Senator Tofu, followed by Senator Brown.
Distinguished Senator, I think the debate here is not to support Josiah Jokai. The recommendations, the police have been very clearly stated all of the violations. I'm on the back. I wasn't just thinking this one. Come on. So it's not about violation or not. It's about we who want to hold somebody accountable for violation should not be violating too. Because if we attempt to put the code of conduct aside or to cherry pick to say, as per the code of conduct, this person is wrong. So we take one provision or two provisions, we take provision part 5, and then we leave part 12. Then we are also in violation. It's a reading in relation, reading the Bible, only by a verse and not by the chapter. The Code of Conduct said that we take to defend here, say that all complaint as related to this code goes to the ombudsman. It also said that each public official or every public official, okay, have the right to complain, which Senator Coney have done, but that complaint should have gone to the ombudsman. In the absence of the ombudsman, then we can be discussing here. The ombudsman has been established, and it says that complaint and that report should be confidential. Read chapter 12. Confidential. Now we have brought a report to the public. If we call this a report, I'm coming, sir. We read the law. Let's go back. We make it a point we stay here. Our oversight should be on the ombudsman performing. Now, even for us to send a complaint, because it didn't say the Senate can complain. It says public official. No. Public official or private citizen can complain. That's the law you wrote here. Any attempt for you to leave that law.
Okay, so gentlemen, that was the Senate session today, and I thought that we needed to talk about this. If we can go a little more overboard, we can do that. At the end of the day, what we heard was that the recommendation, requested that the Senate, communicate with the president to either dismiss Josiah Jokai or suspend him for wearing Nimbo t-shirt. Now, you listen to some of the argument there. I was begin with you. Let's hear you.
So, let me begin with Senator Dopo of G County. he was being to some extent about the procedural steps. That was where he was coming from. Though. He also acknowledged that the Director General of the CSA actually that there's some points of violations, but his argument has been, despite this man has violated, but we are not. We are not, our oversight responsibility does not allow us to call him directly and to do what is required, but instead the office of the ombudsman. I think that is knowledgeable, and I think it's part of the trend. But on overall, I said this again when the issue spark up, that and a few of my panelists said, "Oh man, there is no way that you being even as presidential appointee, because that has been a justification. Oh, the man worked at the way and pleasure of the president, and the president was at the program. The man went there to support his boss. That has been the argument. The law guarantees that once you sign up for public office under the public code of conduct of 2014, section 5.1 says once you sign up for public office, you are exclusively prohibited from engaging into all other political activities. The NIMBO might not be registered as a political party, but there is no way you can detach politics from NIMBO. There is no way you can distinguish political activities from NIMBO. There is a NIMBO standard bearer who says he supports the president re-election but does not support United Party. So everything they do there at NIMBO is quite political. So if you get a man who's supposed to subscribe, or better still, who's supposed to enforce the public code of conduct on civil servants, especially civil servants who, upon wearing party t-shirt and can wearing dismissal, and he's being in the picture, being fully, unified into what we call NIMBO paraphernalia. I mean, that constitutes a grave concern. And I mean, like Senator Yaya Nimna of Green General said, it worries, the dismissal. And I share similar views about. We must live by examples. We must govern by examples. We must lead by examples. So if that has been in the case of the CSA boss, or which several citizens were victimized by that, he is not above the law.
Okay, let's hear you, Dave.
Well, what I have a little bit problem is whether most of those who were booted out of the civil service of the country were booted out because they were seditions or they wore t-shirts. I think what the CSA did was sifting the workforce. The CSA just sifted the workforce. Those supposed to be there, those who were not supposed to be there for so many reasons. They were the ones that were taken out of the workforce, and in doing so, it was not done where the civil service agency were looking for seditions and looking for united parties. Because as we speak, there are some seditions who work in the past region are today working in the current region. So it was not a matter. There was nobody who targeted. That thing, the system was put in place. People were invited to answer some questions during the scrutiny to determine whether they were employed at those entities or agencies or ministries of government as far as the law is concerned. Nothing that was done. So for Thomas Nimna Yaya to have said that people were dismissed because the civil service boss said they saw teacher nothing misinformation. And I agree with Mr. Dopo, who talk about the procedural errors or error that the lawmakers themselves are making. Because after all, if someone violates the code of conduct, it is the ombudsman office that looks into that matter and make a determination as to what punishment that person should face, and not the lawmakers going about that. So it's far beyond their reach. So Dopo was quite correct. Not that he was backing Yokai. And Yokai himself, being knowledgeable about the restriction the ombudsman office or the ombudsman imposes on officials of government. I wonder why he had to go that far by wearing a t-shirt when it's almost as a part of campaigning. Because the fact is, NIMO is a political group. The fact that they can go publicly or tell the public that the formation of NIMO is to ensure that Joseph Boakai gets a second term. You know, no one can tell me that it's far from politics. It's a political group. And wearing this t-shirt means that you are prematurely campaigning.
So Joker was in violation.
Joker was in violation.
Okay, let's hear you. Let's hear you, Mr.
Thank you. Thank
Mr.
you.
Kennedy.
I see. I'm not saying this again, like Dopo said, to say I'm in support of Joker for what he said. One time when we discussed this thing, we were not on the show that time. Long time we discussed this thing here. We said we thought that the CSA boss, where we were stuck was the day. It was not a working day. The CSA standing order says during working hours, no civil servants supposed to engage in political activities. That's why the standing order of the civil servants, the CSA said. But in any case, it will lead to constitutional crisis if the Senate takes decision that probably they're not supposed to take, because it may end up going to the Supreme Court, because it would have been taken at the time the ombudsman was not set up, because that's part of their oversight. The Senate should be asking the ombudsman, right, or a senator should take a complaint or encourage a private citizen to take a complaint to the ombudsman. And definitely there is no excuse for Mr. Joker because Mr. Nimble, Yahya Nimble struck very serious point that I listened to. He said you control more than 70,000 civil servants, right? And you the head, you're doing this. What message are you sending? That's an interpretation of his statement. In my own way, I try to say, you heading them, and the law says you should not do this. What message are you sending to them? What will you do to them if they do the same? And, you know, so I took that in seriously. And I think this type of thing going on is good. It's good for everyone to also see. Let the laws be respected. If Mr. Joker complaint go to ombudsman decide to punish the president, you honor it.
Okay.
Because that, I think that would be better for the country.
Moses, let's hear you on this.
Yeah, look, I watched the hearing, and because of time, we were not able to listen to the entire video from the hearing. But the pro tem of the Senate was able to correct what the other senator was talking about, that the Senate lacks the authority to investigate. I heard Yomli, Senate pro tem, and other senators are saying that the investigation was predicated on the Senate oversight authority. This guy is head of the CSA. He manages the workforce of government. And they saw something that stood out as a brazen violation of the code of conduct. So it was predicated on that he was called in. And Young said, any action will not be submitted to the office of the ombudsman. They report to what? The president. That would be communicated to the president. And I agree with the senators. Because, John Mayer, look, when you lead people, you lead by example. Joker, he met with the senators and he admitted, according to them, he admitted that he accompanied the president to a political gathering. And he also admitted to dismissing people from the seat, from the employ of government because of what? Political affiliation, wearing political party t-shirts and whatever. The senators said that this guy did it. So if he dismissed people on that basis, then the law will have to be the law. Until the Supreme Court can overturn the code of conduct, it remains the law of the country. So let me give you a typical example. This guy from New Makani, the former chair of the Good Governance Commission, Yellow. When this administration came to power, the government used the same thing against him. He said the man was wearing CDC t-shirt. He was campaigning for the CDC. President Blocker removed that man. The man went to court.
He was raised.
He went to court, and the court said the man should be reinstated. As I speak to you, this man remain what? Out of the jail, out of the office of the Good Governance Commission. He has not been paid for months, despite the ruling from the Supreme Court that he should return to work. We have Professor Alare Toba currently acting as chair of the Good Governance Commission because the government claimed Yellow was in violation of the Code of Conduct. So I think the most advisable thing the president can do is to dismiss Mr. Joker. He has to dismiss him. The law is the law. That's my advice.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Moses. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I think you made a point. Let's try to take a calls for a few minutes. I'm sure we end at 10:15. For the rainy season, we adjusted to 10 o'clock, but let's just take a few calls quickly. 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793 or 0886 05 0507. Again, 0886 05 0507 or 0778 460 793. We spoke about the protest, the police IG statement. We spoke about that. Stan also spoke to the press, the organizers of the protest. We spoke about that. And then now Josiah Jokai, his issue along with the Senate. Let's take this call up quickly. Let's hear you. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Chief, and good evening to all of the panelists on the panel.
Okay.
So this is Kwewu. Would encourage in attending this conversation from this city as an executive of the Independent Party Intellectual Bureau.
Okay.
So I think the issue about the Senate making recommendation to the dismissal of the CSA board, I mean, I see it as a thing unconstitutional. Look, you cannot, the same law that established the office of the ombudsman, and the ombudsman is formed with that authority to investigate people. Why are they investigating people, unless the ombudsman? So are they overshadowing the ombudsman, the office of the ombudsman? Because I can recall that when this government came to place and the ombudsman released statement, and that statement was challenged by few officials like the Unity Party Secretary General, the chairman, and that of ACO chairman and Donner. Those were people who took the ombudsman to court that the issue of the code of conduct of that particular sections were unconstitutional and were against their constitutional right as a Liberian. So that issue was challenged to the court, and the court ruled that yes, that law was contravened. The law contravened the Constitution, and you know our Constitution says any law that contravenes the Constitution, that law becomes not a law. So why are the senators coming? In fact, look, I even saw the whole statement he gave from Senator Delo just recently. The Liberty Party had their anniversary, right? And we saw a member of the executive attending that particular program in Liberty Party paraphernalia. Why didn't the senators take actions at the time, even the December 6th?
Okay, all right, make your point. Let's get another call on the line quickly. Not much time we have. Let's hear you. Yes, good evening, sir.
My name is
Please change your look.
Hello?
Yeah, you got to be audible. Yes, go ahead.
Are you getting me?
Yes, I'm getting you. Go ahead.
So, someone, why they are spending I want to see the mobile move. You know, they had me the blue over the yellow. All the people that in the state, they are even the matter what they get arrested yesterday. And where you come with city council of this mobile money, they are let them come also have that at least tomorrow. I'll show you some more. Go to you tomorrow.
Because they are not nothing.
Okay.
You will go to jail tomorrow. So thank you.
Many thanks. 0778-460-793 or 0886-050507. That's the number to call. Again, 0778-460-793 or 0886-050507. You call this number. You're going to be live on the Nighttime Heat tonight. We've been talking about the protests, the planned protest of Stan. We're looking to the statement made by the IG, the Inspector General. Let's take this call on the line quickly. Let's hear you.
Hello.
Yes, let's hear you quickly.
This is Timothy Boma calling for Fata.
Okay, Mr. Boma, let's hear you.
Okay, I would like to talk on the press statement that the IG gave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when a role see a friend role, you always be skeptical. From that statement, how people will really believe that, yes, it is true that there were people that are caught with petrol bomb. And Mobile Model already said that this is the kind of tactics that those guys can play. So people can go about the creation just so that people can be able to believe in what they are saying. So for me, that statement that I actually came away, I don't really believe in it. It's just something that you come up with so the public will be able to say, yes, this is what people are planning to do.
Okay, all right, you made your point. Let's get another call on the line quickly. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. George.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to the panelists.
Okay.
And you particularly may begin family are going from around the car area memory in the party in the letter view. You know, let me say this. We telling our brother and sister are going tomorrow to go carry on our protest. It should be peaceful, and we're calling on the government to see our best to provide security for the people. Mr. George, I always say this to people: if protests were now important, or if people don't want to put protest in the country, no, you put in our constitution. But as long as you put in our constitution and see the people can peacefully assemble, I think that they go and exercise our right. And that's something for people to be here and there arguing on. So for someone that support the government and for me, I protested yesterday, I will also encourage, I will not discourage anybody for exercising our constitution. Because if other people are going to protest in the past, anti-war going to kind of country, because it's come a lot of people for expressing ourselves freely around war in the bread. Somebody we want war anymore. So we are calling our brother to more peace. Let them go and kill our protest peacefully. Anything a politician puzzle, please pardon because you want to achieve something. Because you know the police are there to protect life and property. The police will not take your power on the other side. No. By all costs, I will pass here. Don't do that. We call you on that tomorrow. At least let them put ourselves together so that the president and the government will be able to listen to them. Thank you very much.
All right, so gentlemen, let's go around the table quickly. Party comment. It's about almost 10:15. Let's go around the table quickly.
So yeah, basically, I mean, the Senate is right. The Senate is acting upon her oversight responsibility. And what is more grave and alarming is that Dukaya did not know where Nimbo T-shirt. He also used government asset. The official vehicle that was procured by taxpayer money. It was the vehicle he used to go and attend political party activities. That is wrong. Article 6.2 of the same public code of conduct of 2014 state you cannot use public asset for any political activities. So even if you want to justify to say, oh, then the share away was by mistake, what more about the government vehicle he used? Was it a mistake too? So I think the best decision is for the government to act, especially the president, to act upon the recommendation of the Senate so that it does not hamper the relationship between the executive and the legislature.
Dave, you sleeping?
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Why?
you. Thank you. It was a good show, and I appreciate. And you finish. And it was a good show, and I appreciate everyone, all our panelists. I mean, I enjoyed the debate tonight. I see when I was speaking about the code of conduct issue, I said it could lead to constitutional sin because I know that the matter had been in court. I didn't know that the ruling was out. If it is out. And I said it here before, not all laws passed by the legislature, signed into law, printed into handbill by the president, will remain law. When someone challenges that law in the court and the Supreme Court see that law violates the Constitution, definitely they will strike it down. So probably the time the guys went to challenge Amos Tuah and other people want to go challenge the code of conduct. I don't know about the ruling. I think probably we had to go after it to see what it has is. If all that ruling came down, of course, then the code of conduct will be in serious problem.
All right. Let's hear you, Moses.
Yes, it was indeed a great show, and I want to say thanks to all of our colleagues. Great discussion, and look forward to coming back, for another discussion. I hope that our brothers and sisters that will be out there tomorrow, they will be law-abiding. They should not be misled by anyone. Or, the police say do this and you decide to do your own thing. There should be no agitation. Do whatever you got to do and convey your message. Thank you.
Thank you, Moses, and thanks to all of you. Let me just reference some of our viewers quickly before we go. Vinicius Jinaba, he said, been watching. Abraham VEM, been watching. Honorable Papi Success Keita, been watching. Ophelia S. George, been watching from home. Mark Gonla, been watching from Saclipier. Nimakari, Melvin Asano Roosevelt Jolo, been watching. From Grand Judah County, Patrick Siata Kruma, been watching. Roberto Richard, been watching from the U.S. Moose Kamara, been watching. And the rest of you, until then, Saba George is my name. Have a pleasant night.